If we were to take Mia B and exchange her faction element playstyle teams, her name, average DA scores, her VFX and basically everything about her, we get Alice. And compared to Mia B, Alice is also rerunning right now. And to make sure you know how to perfectly build and play your brand new, or, well, old Alice today, let's talk about her kit and how she plays, her best weapons, distress and distress sets, her combos, her minion substats, her teams and Mindscapes, and lastly, let's also talk about her pros and cons. Welcome! I am Rivenous and this is your complete, updated XXL in-depth guide to Alice Timefield. Alice is a physical anomaly agent whose playstyle is centered around frequent assaults, building up blade etiquette and casting her charged basic attack to trigger her unique mechanic called polarized assault.
LD Shop is a safe and reliable top-up site for your favorite games such as zzzero, Honkai Star Rail, Withering Waves or Genshin Impact. Created by LD Player, LD Shop offers you affordable prices, even up to 30% off, through official ways and does not require any account credentials. Your server and UID are enough. Spend over $80 and you get to claim an internet membership for free every month. LD Shop is trustworthy, provides a fast delivery within minutes, and as you can see by the huge amount of positive reviews, is also safe and reliable. To make sure you can safely acquire your new favorite agent and don't have to worry about losing the ugly 50-50, go and claim your deals directly today, before it is too late. So go directly to ldshop.gg using my link in the description or pinned comment and save money today. Use my link and you will receive a 15% off and a 5% off coupon. Thank you LD Shop for sponsoring this video.
Let's begin with her unique resource called Blade Etiquette. Doing literally anything on her, including triggering assault through anomaly build-up, but one exception will build up Blade Etiquette. This one exception is her charged basic attack, but more on that in just a bit. Blade Etiquette is indicated as per usual right below her HP bar and kept at 300 points, with each bar representing 100. Here's a table of how much Blade Etiquette each action generates, pause if you need to. Inflicting any physical anomaly will inflict a damage over time effect on the enemy, which will deal 25% of the original assault damage over 9.5 seconds. Furthermore, whenever Alice triggers any assault, she will also gain 25% physical anomaly build-up for 30 seconds, and if the enemy suffers a physical anomaly, the disorder damage multiplier is increased by up to 180% depending on the remaining time. Realistically, this will rarely, if ever, hit 180%, and you should expect a disorder damage motion value increase between 90 to 126% on average instead. Because triggering a disorder will remove the previous aura, that also means this MV increase effectively only works on assault disorders. Lastly, there's also this little sentence, which we will get back to in just a bit. Alice features a 5-part basic attack, and while those in itself are not very special, whenever Alice triggers assault through anomaly build-up, the next use of her basic 5 becomes enhanced. Since most of her skills lead directly into her basic 5, this will be used very frequently, and if we were to have a look at the differences between her B5 and EBA 5, it is pretty clear that her EBA 5 is in fact enhanced and better to use. In addition, we can hold her basic attack, and if we do so, we will consume up to 300 Blade Etiquette and unleash a large AoE attack with a ridiculously high multiplier, which frankly doesn't matter because it's an anomaly unit. Because consuming any less than a full 300 blade etiquette is a lot worse, we want to wait until we have a full 3 bars before we cast this, as unleashing a level 3 charge basic attack, which means consuming all 300, will also trigger a polarized assault on enemies. This is also the only ability in her kit that will not accumulate any blade etiquette. So, what is a polarized assault? Great question. Well, to simplify it, it is just a regular assault, except that it can disorder with a normal assault. This mechanic essentially allows Alice to disorder with herself and is also the reason that you will run into a lot of anomaly ICDs. As for the gameplay purposes, this won't really change too much for you, so yeah, you will just see more big numbers, and the sentence is also the same as in her core, which we skipped earlier. You might also have noticed that her kit features the wording, do X if assault is triggered through anomaly build-up, quite a few times. Polarized assault is exactly the reason on why this wording exists, as it is not an assault that is triggered through anomaly build-up, and hence it does not fulfill this condition. Having that said, let's quickly cover her additional ability. As for her additional ability, she requires either an anomaly or support character, and if that condition is met, she will start combat with 300 blade etiquette and restores an additional 30 whenever any disorder is triggered. Most importantly, however, she converts every point of anomaly mastery exceeding 140 into 1.6 anomaly proficiency. Due to her core talent giving her 36 anomaly mastery, she will always have 142 anomaly mastery by default. Her quick assist, follow-up, and chain do all what we expect them to do, but they also all directly lead into her basic 5, which will become relevant during the combo section. But otherwise we won't cover them any further. As for her special, it can trigger a perfect dodge as well, and doing so allows her to directly follow up with her basic 5. Because her basics 1 to 4 are kinda just not that great, being able to dodge with her special and then use her basic 5 as a direct follow-up sounds like a fantastic thing to do. Unfortunately, as already mentioned earlier, nearly all of her abilities can directly be followed up with her basic 5, and that just means that her special is bad. Like really bad. Let's quickly compare it to her dodge counter because it can be followed up with her basic 5 as well. Using her special to dodge instead of her normal dodge, and dodge counter does not only give you less damage and anomaly, it will also not give you energy, which essentially just means it is worse in every single aspect, except that it is slightly faster. Otherwise, her dodge, dodge counter, and dash attack do what they are supposed to do, so we will skip them. Lastly, let's finish her kit overview with her EX specials. Yes, plural. Alice also features 2 EX specials, with each costing 40 energy. Pressing the EX special button while also inputting a forwards movement command at the same time will cast her first EX special. Pressing the EX special button without any movement input or inputting a backwards movement command will then instead cast her second EX special. Because the forwards EX special is much faster than the backwards one, it is the better choice in terms of damage, days, and anomaly per second. But that does not always mean that it is better. If you are fully out of resources and where to fall back to her regular basic attack string, going for the backwards EX special can be beneficial as resource management does become a factor now. Hence, in actual practice, this will not matter too much. Both EX specials are also able to trigger a perfect dodge when timed right, and doing so will grant an additional 10 blade etiquette, which is great, so we do want to try to dodge with her EX. And lastly, while her forwards EX is much faster than her backwards EX is, the backwards EX does give you more iframes and is hence also easier to play. And that wraps up her kit and everything you need to know about her, so let's summarize how she plays out in practice. We want to accumulate 300 blade etiquette by doing literally anything on her, then hold her basic attack and consume them all. The animation is somewhat long, just like Miyabi, so we want to swap cancel it. If we have below 100 blade etiquette, we can use her ultimate, and we use her EX special whenever ready to build blade etiquette as well as utilizing them to dodge. And on the same note, we still want to dodge using her dodge counter and not her special most of the time. There can be an exception if you're running Fusion Compiler, but more on that later. Lastly, after triggering assault, we ideally want to use her basic 5 before triggering another assault. As an anomaly unit, Alice cares much less about her skills than other units, but due to her high MV, they are not that bad either, and Daze is also still a factor as well. This leaves our skill priority at Core, Basics and Chain, into EX Special, into Dodge and lastly Assist. I have one more thing to say about Alice, so let's do that. Because we definitely want to swap cancel her charged basic attack, but Alice being unable to actually proc assault by herself while inactive, Alice does effectively require a second physical character in the team to do that for her. Or otherwise we would waste a lot of anomaly build-up. That also means Alice will need either of Jane or Yuzua in her team, and playing Alice without any of those is, well, it's a challenge for sure. That obviously doesn't mean that you cannot clear using other characters, but if you want to get the most out of your Alice, you will want to play her with either Yuzua or Jane, or potentially even both. Let's begin with her attack string connections, and as I spoiled it already earlier, nearly every skill she has can be followed up with her basic 5. This includes both of her EX specials, her quick assist, dodge counter, assist follow-up, and even her chain attack. They all can directly be followed up by her basic 5, and because of that, her special is unfortunately not very special in that regard. If you happen to trigger Assault during one of these skills, or just right before, the basic 5 automatically becomes her enhanced basic 5, and because both her basic 5 and enhanced basic 5 generate a good amount of energy, disables Blade Etiquette and Anomaly, we want to usually aim to always use her basic 5 after essentially any action we do. Casting her charged basic attack without any prior attack sequence has her automatically use her dash attack before. This can be useful if you run Sharpened Stinger. We can circumvent this by using her charged attack after any other attack, including her ultimate and chain. Again, the animation is quite long, so ideally we want to swap cancel it. When out of stun, we can go for a quick and efficient combo of quick assist into basic 5, into EX special into basic 5 again, followed up with her EX special yet again into basic 5, and then a charged basic level 3. Depending on the enemy, your basic 5s might become enhanced basic 5s, but that doesn't change much outside of you now deal more damage. This combo also provides you with essentially infinite iframes, so yeah, that's a thing. Lastly, her enhanced basic 5 animation is rather long, so if you're into optimizing this, we want to swap cancel it as well. Because anomaly teams are rather fluid in their gameplay, and each and every stun window will look different based on your team, the current playstyle, anomaly gauges, and also the bosses you play against. There is no set and forget stun combo for any anomaly character for any team. Hence, try to aim for 2 charged basic attacks, 1 ultimate and 1 or 2 chains. More importantly, however, while also prioritizing to proc as many disorders as possible. Alice's best weapon is of course her own signature. Sharpened Stinger is her next best option, given that you are able to maintain a good stack up time on it. However, given how both her special and also EX special can trigger perfect dodges, this weapon is honestly a pretty good choice on her. Her best free-to-play option is Weeping Gemini, and frankly, as a side note on Fusion Compiler, while usually her dodge counter is the better choice for dodging, when playing with Fusion Compiler you might want to consider actually using her special to dodge instead. Lastly, I do want to note how anomaly units share a portion of the total team's damage. In Alice's case, that would be around 60%. Looking at solo calculations is always gonna be misleading to a certain degree, especially and even more so in anomaly teams. Yes, her own signature can be an insane damage gain when compared to other available options, but again, only for her own personal damage. In actuality, however, you will never play her only by herself. You will play her in a team, and the team damage dealt will be split between the 3 characters in your team. Well, her sets are fortunately rather easy. We run a 4-piece Fanged Metal, and that is her only choice. For the 2-piece, any of Puffer Electro, Freedom Blues, Chaos Jazz, Astral Voice, Hormone Punk, or Phaethon's Melody will do. Choose whatever has better substats. We are looking at Anomaly Proficiency in slot 4, Pen Ratio or Physical Damage in slot 5, and Anomaly Mastery in slot 6. For our substats, focus on Anomaly Proficiency and Attack percent first and foremost, then Flat Pen and Flat Attack. As already explained earlier, anomaly teams are played with another anomaly unit and hence share only a portion of the team's total damage. Hence, we will throw these calculations away and look at team calculations again instead. Our Mindscape 1 will give you on average 1 additional charged basic attack and reduces the enemy defense by 20%, basically permanently. This Mindscape becomes better if you don't run pain ratio in slot 5 and also not a 2-piece puffer electro, but at this point it is still her best choice. This defense threat is also enemy-sided and hence team-wide. Very good Mindscape. Her Mindscape 2 now allows her ultimate to trigger Polarized Assault as well and grants the entire team 15% assault damage bonus as well as a 15% disorder damage bonus for assault disorders. Lastly, she also gains 1000 decibels when entering combat, which may or may not result in an additional ultimate and hence Polarized Assault. Very good Mindscapes, and if you want to vertically invest into her, I would recommend this. Her M3, M4 and M5 exist, although her M4 becomes better when played against non-physical weak enemies. I don't really know what they wanted to cook with M6, but they kinda just failed. Massively. While this Mindscape essentially allows her to deal an additional hit of 3300% of her anomaly proficiency every second, and this is also guaranteed to be a critical hit, we would need to now build crit damage on her to actually have this matter, which would just lower her assault damage and also the base multiplier of this additional hit in the first place in exchange. So, sounds cool, also looks cool, but doesn't have the impact it should have. In fact, it is one of the worst Mindscape 6s in the game. I recommend getting her weapon over her Mindscape 1 and 2, and her M2 is a good stopping point. The reason I recommend her weapon over any of her Mindscapes is primarily because it is also Piper's and Jane's best in slot weapon, while also being super well usable on other anomaly characters such as Grace or even Bernice. It is a fantastic weapon. 60 flat combat AM are absolutely great and will do that for you. Alice has effectively 3 teams, either with Yuzua and Vivian, Jane and Nicole, or Trigger and Yasuo. She can be played with other anomaly DPS, such as Bernice, Yanagi or Miyabi as well of course, but there is a big difference in performance compared to the other 3 teams. Albeit Bernice and Alice do fare a little bit better in Shio defense due to the more commonly shared fire physical weakness, which just is not a thing in Deadly Assault, in fact those are often resistant to each other. As you might have noticed, literally every team contains either Yasuo or Jane, and that is for a good reason. Alice is unable to proc assault by herself while inactive, and because of that, Alice does effectively require a second physical character in the team to do that. That also means Alice will need either Jane or Yasuo in her team, and again, playing Alice without any of those two is a self-imposed challenge. TLDR being, her teams are great, but she does not really have many. Pros and cons. Alice is a very fun and also easy to play anomaly DPS. She has a lot of iframes, making her not very punishing to play even if you fuck up. Her investment is rather cheap due to being an anomaly character, and she also has room for great vertical investment with a fantastic Mindscape 1 and 2. Oh, and she also does a good load of damage. On the other hand, she does like her weapon quite a bit and is more of a side grade to Jane or Piper if you do not have her weapon. In addition, her weapon is very good and can be an upgrade for your Jane or Piper as well. Speaking of Jane, Alice is heavily reliant on either Yasuo or Jane, and to some degree also Vivian, but primarily really just Yasuo or Jane. She has exactly 1 set, and unless you have been playing a physical character before, you might not have great fanged metal pieces. And lastly, this is just my opinion, she can feel a bit clunky at times. And with that, we are at the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, leave a comment on your thoughts on Alice and whether or not you are pulling on the rerun, or if you're getting her weapon, or if you already have them. And of course, join the Discord. A special thanks to my YouTube and Patreon members who make this content possible. If you wish to support me, you will find a link to my Patreon in the description, or click the join button right below this video. And as always, I appreciate all of you and wish you a great day. Peace!